Hey guys, back with another YouTube video. Today it's going to be a showing off video. Now, I went to a flea market last week, but I didn't really buy much because I didn't have much to spend. So I got 2 items. So in the mixture of all that, I'm going to throw in a bunch of other stuff. Like I got something from my friend Henry and got some stuff that I've made and a few updates and a few new items that my father gave me. So I'm going to show all this together. First items is the ones I got from the flea market. First is this old hickory knife. I've already sold this one. Next is this Victorinox knife. Paid 10 bucks for this, $5 for this, and I already sold them both. So there's those. Next is the item from my friend Henry. This buck 110. Blade's a little worse for wear, but it was worth it because this particular stamp I don't have in my collection. This particular stamp dates this knife to 1988. So that's the only reason I was interested in it. Thank you very much, Henry. It'll look great in my collection. Made in the United States. Next is on the items my dad gave me. Now, I said in my previous video that I don't keep China-made bucks, but in this case, I'm making an exception because my father bought these for me as an early Christmas present. So, thank you very much, Dad. These are Buck China pocket knives. Decorative series. Now, yes, I know they're China, but come on. If your own father bought you this, you would want to keep an exception. You don't want to just get rid of it. This is going to look great in my collection with my other display ones. Thank you very much, Dad. And for 20 bucks, you couldn't really beat that. Next is on this one. He also got me. This is a Marlboro camp tool made by Imperial. Brand new, still in the package. Don't really know how old this is. I'll do some research on it later and see how old it is. He bought this for me and bought himself one. So thank you very much, Dad. And I know I showed these in a previous video, but you couldn't really see them that well. So I'm going to show them again. These are my Remington Barlow knives that my dad got me. And plus, in another year, Remington won't be anymore, so these are probably going to become quite collectible. Next, this is the Getting Ready for Christmas Barlow. With the Remington stamp on it, and Barlow on the side, and Remington on the front. They got a good snap to them for them being in China, I gotta admit. And I don't have very much of these giant Barlows, so thank you very much, Dad. And if you want to vote for one of these to be the next unboxing video, go back to the unboxing, because each one of these I call out by name. So which one you ever want to vote for, go back to the video and find out. Next is the Sure Shot Remington Barlow. Definitely, once again, one of my favorites. So thank you very much, Dad. And there's a whole set of these you can collect. My father got the whole set, and he gave me the other extras. Next is the Remington Duck Hunter Barlow knife. There's that one. This is called the Collector's Novelty Product, or Vintage Series. Now, my father told me, if you ever see a Remington knife that says Vintage Series on the box, it's most likely China. Remington never says that in some of their boxes. Next is, the last but not least, is the Remington Steel-Leaded Shot Shells Barlow. So thank you very much, Dad. And plus, like I said, I don't get rid of things that were given to me, because I just wouldn't feel right. Like, if I sold all these, my dad would probably be pretty upset with me, but I'm not going to do that. Last but not least, he bought me this one to get back at me, because I picked on him a lot for this knife. This is a purple Remington assisted knife. Remington right on it. And I picked on him a lot for this knife, so he bought me this just to kind of get back at me. Has a good spring in it, I gotta admit, I just don't like the color of it. So thank you very much, Dad. This will look great in my collection. Ooh, excuse me. Alright, now let's put all these back in the bag. Is that all of them? Yes, it is. Alright, next is on the update. If y'all may remember, in a previous video, I did an unboxing showing off this old timer. Well, I have already fixed it up and put the new blade in it and wrapped it in this so that way it doesn't get damaged. Looks near brand new. I hope Ben's gonna like this knife. Has a good snap to it. And then my original plan was to film me making a knife out of the old blade, because me and him did a deal where in exchange for some more money, I made him a knife out of the old blade that was in this. Wrap this back up and put this back in. And sadly, what had happened is I'd accidentally deleted the footage, so here's the knife all finished up with the brass washer and a deer antler handle. Very sharp. I'm going to my buddy Stefan to pick up the knife sheath tomorrow, and then I'll get this knife sent off to you. So there's the update on that. Next is on a surprising thing. I did a deal with a guy to get a bunch of leather scraps, and I was telling him that I'm a knife maker and I make my own knives, this and that. And first of all, in the leather trash bag, basically the trash bag was full of leather scraps, was an unfinished sheath. So I basically just stitched it and refinished it. And it actually fits this knife perfectly, so this is just in this sheath temporarily till I can get the other sheath from my buddy Stefan. So that was in the leather. I'm not going to show all the leather pieces, that would be a waste of time. Next, he also gave me these free of charge since he knows I'm a knife maker. His friend plasma cut these out of a giant circular saw blade from a sawmill. And I'm going to make one of these, or finish them up technically, and keep one of these for myself. There's that hot cut piece. There's that hot cut piece. There's that hot cut piece. There's that piece. And there's that piece. And then, here's a complete, get out of there, a complete saw blade. That's going to get used. Oh, yeah. Then there's that one. And then 2 halves of a saw blade. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm sorry if I can't remember your name. Of course, he'll let me know down in the comments. Those back in the box. And last but not least is to show off some knives and axes I've made. Since I've sold a couple of my tomahawks, I figured I could make a few more. Again, circular saw blade, steel piping, and nuts and bolts, and white twine for the handle. And here's another one I made. Again, steel shaft, nuts and bolts, circular saw blade for the blade, and white twine for the handle. You can buy these from me if you ever want to. Next is one of my crown jewels I've made. This Crown Stag Bowie knife I designed. Made this knife all from scratch. The sheath I actually bought at a flea market, and it fits this knife perfectly. Has a traditional Bowie knife style, a deer antler handle, aluminum guard. Definitely a badass knife. This I have for sale for over $100 to anybody who wants it. Next is this cleaver I've restored. This one's already been sold, so that's why it originally had this handle on it. This was the original handle that was on it, but I didn't really like that, so I took that handle off and replaced it with a traditional style handle. This handle was actually from a hand saw, so it fits it perfectly. So this one's already been sold. Next, and I took the old handle and put a new blade in it. This blade I made out of a circular saw blade. One heck of a cutter. This one's also for sale. And then next, out of a similar one, I made this little lamb splitter. out of a circular saw blade, a bolt to hold the blade in place, and I made the handle out of an old head shear. Very light, one heck of a chopper. Last but not least is the one that took the longest. This is a knife I made out of a pipe wrench handle. That's almost an inch thick blade. This could definitely take a beating. Anybody who wants this can happily buy it from me, but I will warn you it's not cheap, because this took me a long time to make, because to ground that thick blade down and make a nice cutting edge is not easy. Alright. Guess that's all the updates I've got and all the stuff I've bought. And I guess I'll do another video whenever I get my knife back from the Buck Factory. And as always, stay sharp.